It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and today's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the New Orleans Saints and the Miami Dolphins, and it comes your way next on Madden NFL 23.
We are about 15 or so miles northwest of world-famous Miami Beach as we are set for football at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the New Orleans Saints and the Miami Dolphins. And a welcome in, everybody, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, so much gets made about offensive comparisons. Here's a matchup where the defenses may just take center stage.
Yeah, we're usually talking about guys scoring touchdowns. How about the guys who prevent them and change the momentum of the game when they take the ball away? I love those ball hawks in the secondary. People after my own heart.
One started, and we are underway from Hard Rock Stadium. This will be fielded inside the 5. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be led out by Taysom Hill, the very versatile quarterback out of Brigham Young.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yards with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100+ the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
And they'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive. They begin on the ground with Kamara. Room here to run. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A big hitter there, a first down gain of 26 yards.
Okay, let's do our version of name dropping here. Let's show off a little knowledge, right? The A-gap, the gap between the center and the guard on either side, right? Both sides. Control that, you're going to control an inside running game.
And he had to feel satisfied because he hit that gap, broke the contact. He loves that.
That's the best part, right? That's what he's going to ask the coach to run back on film.
Let me see that one more time.
Show that again, coach. Look how my legs kept turning. I just kept moving, and he did to the tune of a big game.
And now here's a deep shot that's complete. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. Boy, a pair of big plays here. This one going for 29.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
It's Hill. That is hauled in by Michael Thomas. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards.
Boy, no problems getting down the field here on this opening drive. They've looked really sharp in the early going, and they've come up with some big plays already. Here's another that's going to set up 1st and goal.
First and goal, a chance for an early statement here on the road. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Taysom Hill taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Saints will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Solid finish to the opening drive. And look, when you get down around the goal line, you have to account for his legs. We saw it right there.
Yeah, that's the added dimension to the offense, isn't it? Remember what the offensive line coach told us earlier this week? I told my guys, he's going to run it. We have to make sure he stays protected and give him an opportunity.
Will Lutz on for the point after. And it's good as the Saints have a 7-0 lead. Just a 4-play drive that time.
And it was Taysom Hill who finished it off with a touchdown.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Here is Tua Tagovailoa heading out to lead this Miami offense.
You want to talk about a driven player, partner. This guy is absolutely that person. He doesn't just have goals in this game. He wants to be remembered among the best to play the position, and he treats every game as an audition for that. It's a lofty goal to set for yourself, but we've seen his drive lead to some impressive games from him. Perhaps another one is in store today.
Tua and the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10
at their 25-yard line. Throwing now is Tagovailoa.
He's going to drop this underneath to Mostert.
And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond.
3rd down here.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu.
And the Saints are going to take possession of the football.
Before we came up to the booth, mistake-free football, well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
Here's Hill now after the interception. He'll air it out deep for Thomas. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
That incompletion certainly slows things down a little bit and brings up a very important call for 2nd and long. What do? Run and try and get some yardage and make it 3rd manageable? Or challenge the coverage again, hoping for a bigger gain?
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Kamara up the middle, and he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the first.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good, and this will remain a 1-touchdown game.
And anytime you see a kicker trot out to try one for 56 yards, you know everything's got to come off perfectly for it to have a chance. If the laces aren't quite right, if he doesn't hit the fat part of the winds up no good.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46.
Tua's throw is taken in by Waddle.
And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
3 yards remain for 2nd down.
Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Got a man complete to Cedric Wilson.
And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line. On 1st and 10, it's Mostert.
And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Tagovailoa working out of the gun. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This will be from 56 yards out. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember. There he goes, left side. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great effort there. 55 yards. And the Saints take the blocked field goal and convert it into 6 points. So a pretty wild turn of events there. Instead of a sure 3 points, it's 6 the other direction.
And if you're kicking in the NFL, that should be pretty much automatic, but I don't think that's on him at all. The protection broke down. That led to the block.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead.
14, Dolphins, nothing. Will Lutz, we kick off for New Orleans.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Meanwhile, Tua's throw caught by his receiver, Hill. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. Nothing the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter from Miami. It's the Dolphins with the football. One play has them up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Up the middle they go with Mostert. And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Green, check right. Black block, check pink. Hut, go.
Running the counter with Mostert. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
With him, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. From the gun, it's Tua. And incomplete on the deep ball.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. On 2nd and 10, Hill. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight at just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
Well, you don't expect too many quarterbacks to be adept at breaking away from would-be tacklers, but this is uncommonly good right here as he's able to get away.
Yeah, and at the risk of sounding just a little bit trite, this is just a tackle that needs to be made. It's one thing when you've got a bruising 230-pound running back coming your way, but when it's a quarterback who's running for his life, your teammates will tell you, you've got to get him on the ground.
And the next-gen stats shows us the tale of how much yardage he was able to pick up after the initial contact.
The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara.
And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. 43 yards rushing for him now on just his first 3 carries.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 38.
Oh, he'll look downfield for Kamara. And this one nearly picked off. Kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's 2nd down.
Now a handoff. Here's Kamara. Flashed the stick skills, but didn't get a ton from it. Stopped short of the 35. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves him with 3rd and 9 looming.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Throwing on 3rd down. Hill. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches. Will Lutz now to try the New Orleans field goal. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. The kick by Lutz is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So he missed his first attempt, remember, but this time he gets back on the bike and knocks it home.
Yeah, and sometimes that first one can really impact you moving forward. It can just stay with you too long and affect everything else you do during the game. In this case, though, able to shake it off. He's riding high again.
Will Lutz to kick off for New Orleans.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away.
And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25.
The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it. I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break.
Oh, this is intercepted, intended for Hill. Picked off by Paulson Adebo. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football.
He had his eyes on the end zone. He got close. At least he set the offense up nicely, but he's probably mad he didn't take that one to pay dirt.
I agree with you, and you know he's going to get teased because he didn't get it all the way into the end zone. But if they don't score now, if they don't get a touchdown, he won't just get teased. They'll be glaring at him. How'd you not score?
The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
Well, now he's looking just to add to his totals. 2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
That's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them. They did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Will Lutz now to try the New Orleans field goal. This just a 24-yard attempt. The kick by Lutz is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away.
And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Tua.
That's complete. Once again, it's Gesicki.
The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Throwing again on 2nd down.
Tua. Yeah, the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down.
They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry.
Tua hit, and the ball is out.
And this is picked up by the Saints. And this one will be brought back to the 22. The defense, they were swarming that time and ultimately got to him before he could get rid of the football and knocked it free.
And don't you feel just a little bit of sympathy for him back there, though? So much going on, so much swirling around. He's trying to find someone downfield. He's trying to move around to find an open target. Sometimes you forget the number one thing: take care of the football.
They're coming out with a jumbo package to start the drive.
A give. This is Kamara. And nothing much. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set them up.
So we have reached halftime with the visiting Saints out on top, as we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, BG, thanks very much, and welcome one and all to our beautiful new downtown Orlando studios for this EA Sports Halftime Report. First things first, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for the Saints. And the ground game has been a big part of why they have this big lead. And you have to figure they'll lean on it a little bit more in the 3rd and 4th quarters. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, they did even less on the ground as they've struggled to get the run game going. Both teams likely making their final adjustments before the second half. So, time for us to go back downstate to Miami and rejoin Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3.
The Dolphins down on the scoreboard, but they'll have it first as we get going in this third quarter.
And he will not bring it out. It's a touchback. The Dolphins getting set to go back to work here in quarter number 3.
And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts there. No gain on the play there, second down. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. And he's going to be intercepted a third time.
Picked up by Pete Werner. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football.
Well, I think everyone who's watching was certainly hoping to see things get a little bit better for them in this half, weren't we? But it was a downright miserable first half. This carried over with an interception to begin the second half. That's a defeated offense right there. There's still a lot of game left. I don't think that's the last turnover we're going to see today, partner.
Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half.
And they'll have good field position here following the interception and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
2nd down, and it's Kamara again.
And he'll get this down close to a first down at about the Dolphins' 20-yard line.
52 yards on the ground for him so far.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. That is caught by Olave. Touchdown, New Orleans.
From 13 yards out.
And the Saints take advantage of the field position on the turnover to cash in for 6. So they're able to capitalize there on the short field, and that might prove to be the score that turns out the lights.
The party's over. Oh, sorry about that. That's an old reference there, folks. But, yeah, they've been the better of the two teams by far, and that's great complimentary football right there. Defense gets the turnover, sets up the short field, and the offense goes right out and scores to open up a pretty sizable lead.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. And that stretches the lead to 27. A drive there of just 4 plays.
And it was Chris Olave who finished things off with a touchdown.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. Miami set to take over. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 47. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. And he'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 47 yards.
And the Dolphins are able to cut into that deficit. So that, Charles, their first score of the ballgame, obviously, coming here in the third quarter. Is that going to be enough to energize the troops?
It's a great question, and we'll wait to see the answer, but it's finally something for them to build on. Now they know that they can actually score against that defense.
Jason Sanders now for the extra point. It's up and good, and it makes it 27-7 now. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays.
And it ends with a touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
This fielded right at the goal line. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. Set to take over once again. Out comes the Saints offense. Still operating with a comfortable lead despite the score a moment ago as they begin 1st and 10.
Back to throw. Hill.
And there's the former Dolphin, Jarvis Landry.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards, the final tally.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. They'll fake the handoff. Now Hill. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
You know what I like about that play? He didn't try to do too much on 1st down. He took what the defense gave him, put together a solid gain to bring up 2nd and manageable. Now they have a couple of plays to pick up just a few yards and a new set of downs.
68 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? 2nd and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy 1st down conversion. Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Again, it's Kamara.
And a very determined run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 27. Good effort.
The Saints 1st down there on a gain of 11.
They're making it look easy out there. Another 1st down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 1st downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. Hill on 1st down.
And he's going to get this down near the 25.
Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down. So both teams trade touchdowns in the third as we're through 3 quarters of play. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
2nd down and 8.
A shotgun snap for Hill. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. 25 yards for the touchdown, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. So still throwing here in the fourth quarter with a pretty sizable lead, and now that lead even more sizable. And if nothing else here, CD, a chance to pile on some stats before this one wraps up, and he did just that.
Brandon, convention tells us it's time for them to get off the gas a little bit, right? But you and I both know the receivers don't want them to, because, as you noted, this is their chance to pile on the stats. If they got their way, they try to get every single spot in the depth chart points before this game is over.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. The Dolphins ready to take over on offense. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage, because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Tua sets up to pass it. Right back to Jalen Waddle for another catch. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down.
That's good for the Miami Dolphins.
Here's Tua. It's a slant to Hill. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Tua to throw again. Over the middle, he's got Gesicki, the big 6'5" tight end. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line.
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd.
To throw again on 2nd down. Tua, and they'll get this on the screen to Mostert. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. Out of the gun on 3rd down. Here's Tua. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Intended for Cedric Wilson. Incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
4th down, 4th quarter. Here's Tua. And able to find Gesicki as tight end. And he will have a Dolphins 1st down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. No gain on the screen there. It's 2nd down.
Complete to Ryan Mostert. Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 15-yard line.
Here we go, set.
So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. And again, it's Tagovailoa. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And the Saints are going to take over at their own 13-yard line. All Well, smiles and high fives on that defensive sideline. That interception will cap off what was truly a tremendous performance.
Yeah, if you can hold a team to 7 points in the NFL, that's the kind of day that you feel really good about. Now, I do know a few guys are going to think to themselves, held them to 7. If we'd made one more play, could have had our shutout.
The New Orleans offense set to take over. They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted, so they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. They run it again with Kamara. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. At 5 yards on the play there, it's a drive will continue.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Clock counting down toward 40 seconds as they take the knee. So this one a victory here for New Orleans. And we talk so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Air-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle, go on to victory. Now the guys believe. You move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them. This one is now planted.